All right, guys, I'm gonna try to show you guys how to do step number 20 in your messenger bag sample. This is when you're gonna sew the lining to your bag. Yeah, hopefully you just finished sewing it and maybe left a little opening in the seam down here, one little opening, and we're gonna use that to turn it inside out later. But anyways, look at step number 20. I really want to encourage you guys to read it, look at the illustration, and see if it makes sense. I mean, it's got to be really hard for that pattern maker to explain how to sew this guy together without getting to be there in person to show you, you know? So, I mean, study it and see if it makes sense to you. Yeah, and if it doesn't, go back after we do it and reread it and then see if you can like understand what was trying to be illustrated. So it says with right sides together, which I think is kind of a gift of them to tell you. A lot of sewing instructions will assume you already know that. But right sides together, pin the lining to bag. Matching small circles. Remember how there's small circles on the front and back pieces? And having the pockets facing the flap. Okay, so this picture has an illustration of your lining turned inside out, which might be a little frustrating because step number 19 literally just said, turn it right side out and press, and now they want it turned it inside out. Okay, fine. So we're gonna turn the lining inside out, right? Okay, so that's the side with no pockets. There's the side, you see the stitches of the pockets? They're on the inside, right? Okay, they want the flap towards this side. Now they said right sides together, so if our right sides are on the inside, then for our bag, we can leave it right sides on the outside. We don't have to turn it inside out, okay? So I'm gonna take the flap, I'm gonna take the strap, I'm gonna take everything, and I kinda wish I had a buddy here to help me, to be honest with you. Wouldn't that be nice if I had a buddy that could stand here and hold this for me? Because I'm going to put this inside. Get in there. Yes. I think I did it, you guys. Okay, cool. This guy is no help. Okay, yeah. So if you look on the inside, you can see your what do you call this, interfacing, and in the illustration there's little dots. So yeah, I see the interfacing. That means our right sides are together. That's good. Our raw edges are all going to be lined up. The strap is inside, the flap is inside, everything's in there. So now it's really a good idea to match up your seams, because if those are crooked, you'll kind of know. So I would put some pins at all the seams. Okay, and then, of course, pin all the way around the top. And you're gonna sew this whole circle closed with your 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then because we left an opening down here, which I know I'm fooling you guys, I accidentally sewed mine all the way. I'll just get my seam ripper and open it up. I'm gonna turn my bag inside out through this little opening. Okay, so I'm just gonna go take this to the table and pin it so I can set it down, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's pinned. Okay, so I have my bag all lined up. I have my right sides together. I also made sure that my strap is inside and my flap is inside. I actually have my flap facing my pockets. So I'm gonna go ahead and now just pin this all together so it's real easy to take it to the sewing machine and sew it. So I like to line up my seams. Just go ahead and pin that together. I'm gonna hop over here and line up this seam as well. Okay. Okay, there we are. Get all of this kind of lined up at the top. So I'm pretty fortunate that mine is fitting pretty well. If maybe you went off seam allowance and sewed too much, then maybe your lining might be too short, or vice versa. But you guys learned how to ease, so you can make it work if that happened. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and pin the other side as well. Let's get all this. I like it when my seams match up. So I'm matching my lining seam with the bag seam. Same on the other side. Okay. All right. All right, so I'm ready to go take this to the sewing machine. I'm gonna sew all the way around one big circle. So I'll stop where I started. All right, so here I go. I wanna make sure you don't accidentally sew all 4 layers together. So I'm gonna kind of scoot this other part of the bag out of the way. Can't quite see it, let's see. Okay, here we are. And I'm lining up my raw edge to the 1/2 inch engraved line. Put my needle down. Okay, lining it all up. Again, I'm only just stitching to the interfacing. I want to make sure like I don't have the other bottom layer underneath it. Just be careful of that. And I do want this to stay in forever, so I will start with a back stitch. My stitch length at 3 I think is fine. Cool. Press it there. And just go slow over the bulky part. You don't want your needle to break. I'm gonna kind of readjust over here to get my fabric kind of lined up and flat and ready to go. Getting a little crowded at this machine. Ooh, I'm going over my strap, so it's getting real thick. So just go slow. Just try not to push it. Keep an eye on that raw edge. Make sure it's still at that 1/2 inch mark. I think now's a good time to double check. I'm still sewing only 1 bag. You just want to make sure there's no extra fabric that's not supposed to be there. What is happening here? Okay, that was kind of weird. Look at all this ugly raw edge. It's fraying already. It's going to be so great when I turn this guy right side out. Can't wait. Adjust my bag again. Okay, we have the other strap coming up. I feel it's super thick. Get any puckers. Delicate fabric. Almost done. This is so exciting. There we go. I can see where I started. I gotta go to finish. And yes, I did it. Okay. Make sure your tape lever's up and pull it towards the back. Okay, so I finished sewing around the whole edge. Notice I did not sew it closed, like where you can't open it. All the way around. Now I have to turn it right side out. So if you guys remember, for the instructions when it told you to sew the lining together, it did have you kind of skip some stitches right there. If you didn't, no worries. Just grab one of these things and undo it for a few inches, because we're going to use that to pull it through. So neat, right? This is where the magic happens. All right, cool. Yes, look at that beautiful, clean seam. Remember all that ugly raw edge I had that was fraying? It's gone. Now I just put it inside.
Hello.
There we go.
Sign out address form.